Hello and welcome to my channel. Excuse me. Right, today now I'm going to be making some Stollen slices. So these are flat Stollen slices. I think it's a German dish. Anyway, this is my take on it. So I'm using 100 grams each of sultanas and raisins. Just a sec. So sultanas and raisins, I've left them soaking overnight in some brandy, 3 tablespoons of brandy. So anyway, I'm going to be using flour, plain flour, caster sugar, baking powder, bicarbonate soda, some butter. I'm trying to think. Alfie's down by the side of me. He hurt himself just now. Marzipan, which I'll be grating. Sultanas and raisins I've just mentioned. What else? Cinnamon, ginger, yogurt, almond almond essence or extract. And I'll be coating these when I'm done with some brandy butter. So I'll be making some brandy butter a bit later as well. So, and also vanilla paste. So right, first of all, I'm going to measure all the dried and put it in my mix. So I'll just crack on with that. So I've just added in here, 375 grams plain flour, 50 grams caster sugar. I'm going to use half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, if I can open it. So half a teaspoon bicarbonate soda, I want 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and I also want the rind of 1 lemon. I've washed my lemon, so I'm just going to put the rind in there now. So I want half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of ground ginger. I got drop seeds today, dropping the bloody thing. Tracy, I think I've caught your bag. Half a teaspoon of ground ginger. That's that. I'll mix this up before I add the wet ingredients. Right, now that's mixed up, I'll just mix the wet ingredients together now. So it's just 100 grams of butter, which I've cubed. Right, so just turn this on and mix it up. So let that mix now. Whilst that's mixing, I want the lemon juice, so Put the lemon juice in here. So that's 1 lemon juice. About a teaspoon of almond extract. Teaspoon of almond. A teaspoon of paste. Paste. And I want 150 grams of yogurt. Please. That's alright. I've mixed this all together. I've also added 1 egg into this. Just switch this off a second. So I'll add all the wet now. To the dry. So I've just added all the wet. I'm just going to put this back on now to mix it all in. Maybe a little stodgy, it's just like dough. Just let it all mix in. I'm going to swap the that for the dough hook. It's just swap the paddle over now to a dough hook. Like that. Right, whilst that's mixing now, I shall do my marzipan. I want 150 grams of marzipan. Sorry, it's 175 grams, I've just double checked. 175 grams of marzipan. I want to grate the marzipan. That looks perfect. I'll just carry on grating this a second now. Right, I'll switch this off a second. Now I want to add the raisins, just let them gently fold in. And the raisins have been soaking in brandy. And just switch this on. Just let that all fold in now. Now add the marzipan. Add the marzipan bit by bit, okay? Surface is clean. I have added an extra 100 grams to this because the mixer was a bit too wet. And this should be enough now. It's still a bit wet for my liking, but it's alright. I've greased, not greased, I've put parchment paper into tins. These tins I normally use for my brownies. So I've separated them both and put them in there, and I've flattened them down as best as I can, but they will settle. I've had to check back on my recipe, and yes, it is supposed to be stodgy, and I really can't remember it being stodgy. Anyway, never mind, let's hope it turns out okay then anyway. So I'm going to put these in the oven now at 160. I'm now making brandy butter. So in there I've got 200 grams of butter and 175 grams of icing sugar, which I will add, and a teaspoon of vanilla paste. So right, I've got the paddle on. Just to soften the butter a little. And I've got the vanilla paste inside there as well. Right, I'll just start adding the icing sugar. Bit by bit. This batter is creaming up now. Turn it off to add a bit more. Right, it's on a creamy texture, and you can add as much, well, not as much really, up to 7 tablespoons of brandy. I changed the paddle now to a whisk. When it's at your desired flavour. You can stop. Should be enough. I'll just taste this now. Blooming delicious. I have got a little dish. This dish I had last year, which I've been using for brandy butter and things like that ever since. But it was from when I had my pate, my Christmas dinner last year. And this recipe just holds just enough. And you know, just put this in there now. And here's my brandy butter. I will be covering this with cling film and putting it in the fridge. But first of all, I'll be using some of this now to put on top of the Stollen. So, yeah. Here's the Stollen. And it turned out better than what I thought, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know what happened with my recipe. I think I started following one and going on to another. Anyway, here's the Stollen. I have coated it with the brandy butter, and I've let that soak in, and then I've vigorously put icing sugar on the top, but some is soaked through the melted butter, as you can see. Anyway, you're supposed to do it when it's hot, and anyway. So I'm going to enjoy those because they are delicious. So I hope you like them. And yeah, they are nice and soggy, just the way they should be. Right, there's the other one now in its baking parchment. I'll put it on a rack now to cool. But yep, that's my Stollen, and it hasn't turned out too bad, to be honest. It is quite stodgy inside, especially with the brandy butter. Anyway, I hope you've liked my recipes and that turn you around to normal. Sorry about that. I hope you like my recipes, and you will come back again. So if you do want the recipe, please let me know and I will put it in the description for you. Until I see you again. Bye bye.